we feed them. But they were, so when I was on Friday, we went, oh my God, okay, I'm going to finish this. Let's just go home and chill out, right? So we go, I get a call from Rita, and she says, you coming home? Make sure to park in front and do not open up the garage door. Whatever you do, we have a swarm of bees. And I'm thinking, wow, it's like a Bible thing, the locusts and the things. I'm always making it more dramatic than it could possibly ever be. It's just really bees. And so it was a kind of a freaky situation to drive up and look over there and see this wall of bees. And I just went, wow, okay, welcome home. Welcome home. So I immediately started being like Indiana Jones. What do we do? Get them out. And then they go, no. Then we call someone, our beekeeper, Sue Buckley. I'd never say names in there. But we asked, how does this work? And then we found out, and then Rita will tell you all about all of the things we found out about bees. And I'm thinking, so on the Camino, you think you're walking 500 miles, but then you sprain your ankle, and then you adjust to that. And then you go a little bit further and you have to adjust to a swarm of bees. And then you get to relax, because he also showed us the wonderful food along the way and at night. And then he met a friend and they walked together for a couple days. Then they said, see you later. And I thought, this is just like life, right? But the biggest lesson I've learned from all of this in order to walk the Camino, to be a part of this thing called life, we must have faith, and we talked about it last week too, and trust. In trust that I've made a decision to walk those 500 miles, and I can't see the end right now. But I've made a decision. And I'm learning even more about that than anything, that once you make a decision, we can change our mind. How many have made a decision and just said, I need to bail out of this? This is, yeah, just a couple times here and there. But for me, I'm like, once I make a decision, I have to trust that the entire universe is going to come in to pick me up or to help me or to give me this. I found this wonderful quote this morning. Are you familiar with Eric Hoffer? I'm sure that, yeah. I was not as much until philosopher, atheist, all around good guy. I heard him from Bob Proctor, who's one of my heroes. I wish I had not looked at Bob Proctor the way I did 20 years ago, like, who's that old man? And then now I am. And so I'm like going, wow, it would have been really nice to listen to that old man so I could find out how this young, wonderful man would be dealing with something. So he read this wonderful time, and he's talking about change. Do you feel right now that we're in an incredible time of change? And some of it feels like God bumps goose, goosebumps. You're feeling that feeling. And then some of it feels tiring. And sometimes, do you ever get to, we're a thinking philosophy here. We don't tell you what to think. We teach how to think in our favor. But sometimes, I don't know about any of you, but I get tired of thinking so much. I think more than I possibly could ever need to think. But this is what he says. In times of change, and I really want you to hear a few of these words. In times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Let's say it again. It hit me too. I went, hello. In times of change, learners, that's people who are, what? I want to learn more. I want to learn more. Watch Bob Proctor. He's 85 and he died at 87. And he's going, what's your biggest thing? He said, the thing I feel the most sorry for people is that they stop learning. They stop studying. They stop going. He says, I still don't know who I am. And he's this incredible man who teaches it. And he says, I still don't know who I am. So he says, the learners inherit the earth. While the learned, I know everything. I've got it down. Usually when you got it down, you're just afraid. Just saying it. Mom, you're back. I can't. Look, Mom's here. Not my mom, but my mom now. So here it is. While the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. Do you feel that maybe the world that we used to know doesn't really exist in the same way that it did? Am I out here by myself? So here's the opportunity, right? The opportunity that we're looking for. And that is, for me, is to say, you know what? I have so much more to learn. What if I didn't know anything? Which would be so relaxing. Because I'm so busy, right? You know, I just love the whole idea of armor. We're so busy, you know, putting on the armor. I know it all. I know this. I know that. And in reality, we don't know anything. And so that gives us an opportunity to what? To learn more. Wow. Survival to creation. I love that. So Abraham Lincoln, and here's another thing I just want to tell you a little tidbit about things. Sometimes we quote people, and you don't like the people that we quote, so how do I know? Because you tell me. And so I did Einstein one time, and somebody said, you know, he was a womanizer. And I went, sometimes this business that I'm in confuses me, just so you'll know. This inspirational business, it's like, they couldn't accept his quote that I used. First of all, I don't know Albert personally. I don't know who he was sleeping with. And I don't know who he was cheating on I don't know, and I don't care because I like the quote. So Abraham Lincoln, I do not care. So anybody, I'm going to quote Abraham Lincoln. So if you love him, that's fabulous. If you don't email me. Just kidding. Not. To believe in the things you can see and touch is no belief at all. But to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. Right? Ooh. It doesn't count to believe. But it's like Bob Proctor always says, I don't have enough money to buy that house. I don't have enough money to take that vacation. I don't have enough money to get a car. He said, well, you don't have to worry about it. You haven't made a decision yet to buy one. Well, where's all the money? I mean, we're about to move. Where's all this going to come from? This was one of those wonderful weeks with QuickBooks when you snuggle up to it and you go, let's look at where we're at. Did we sign that thing yet? Honey. That's a real deal. But then where is it? You have to see the 500 miles. And you have to be able to see the unseen. And you have to be able to trust in it, because you say, well, where's the money going to come from? Well, you know where it's going to come from? Wherever it is right now. Because it'll make its way there. We're not here because somebody said, I'm going to write you a check for $500,000, so you just relax. You and Rita do your thing. That's not how it always works. I actually, it could work that way, and I would like to step up my consciousness just a tad bit to allow that to be so. So whatever is going on in your life, and I know right now that there are things going on in your beautiful lives that you're going, really? And some things are going on, and you're going, yeah. Crisis of faith, isn't it lovely? Wow, sometimes it's there, right? And you know what you'd have, after I call it a quick pick, what is that thing you doing over there, the QuickBooks? You know what I do with that? What I do with that fear? I immediately went into, I'd love to say I went, ooh, honey, doesn't matter. It's only a portal filled with, no, I did not do that. I went like this, and then I said, what am I going to do? Because I could, you know what's happening when it starts to happen. You go, fear's coming in, duck. And then what you do is I went and filled up with as much, I went to that thing called the internet, And I filled up with every motivational, spiritual thing I could get my little hands on. And I kept filling it up and filling it up and filling it. Because treatment wasn't enough in that after I did the first one, because I went, yeah, and so it is. Oh no, oh no. So I went, fill her up, fill her up, fill her up, fill her up. And that's what my suggestion is today. Does anybody have anything in their life that they might be at all worried about right now? Just a few things. I mean, it doesn't have to be. Yeah. So my idea for that is for us to just, well, Ernest Holmes will tell you this. You have a silent partnership with the infinite. But guess what the catch is to that? You got to believe it. You got to believe it. Bless you. You got to believe it. Why do you have to believe it? Well, because you can tell me all you want that I have the infinite running through me as me and I can do anything. But what are you going to do when fear takes a little knock at your door? You're just going to say, hi, what's going on? Oh, you want to come in? Oh, sorry, man. You know, I talked to a beautiful man, pop-up story, random. I was out on the path, you know, my path stories. Anyway, he came up to me and he kind of, every once in a while, he flirts with Rita because we walk separately, so he doesn't know that we're married. And so, what can I say? We're so open here. If you're here for the first time, we just share everything. We don't. Is anything sacred, as my mother would say. So he's riding down, and usually all he says to me is, hey, stud. Hey, superhero. Then he says, you know, and then he says different things to Rita. But so he pulled up to me, and he said, stop. And I was like, whoa. He said, do you take pills, any kind of medications? How's your heart? You know, lungs, everything working okay with you, man? Yeah. Why do you say? He goes, because Sunday I had a massive heart attack right where you're standing. And then I'm looking for cameras because I know there's some kind of reality show going on around me. And he said, yeah. I'm going, what? And he goes, yeah, I had a massive heart attack. He says, I laid down on the side of the road and I completely just kind of freaked out. And I just went, wow. 4 days later, mind you, had 4 stents put in. And he said, when he's riding, he goes, I'm just checking you out. Just make sure you take care of yourself. And I went, oh, wow. And then naturally he's told everybody on the path. So now, you know, I'm walking down, I'm running, and people are like all going, did you talk to Victor? You know, and it's like, oh, okay. So what I got out of it is, as Feren said, so then I come right to the end of the path, and he's on the ground. And so he just told me the story, right? So I'm looking, I'm going, oh my God. And I get up there, and he's playing with somebody, you know, with a dog, a big lab that was in it. And so I go, oh man, I thought you were doing a reenactment of Sunday. And he, you know, I'm nice. And he goes, no more. And then his friend, this was the best, his friend goes, you know, we need to really pay attention to what happened to Victor. And I'm thinking, oh, no. I said, Victor, just to let you know, your story did not scare me at all. But it did inspire me. Because 4 days later, the guy, he's taking a choice. He's making a choice on his Camino to get back on the bike. And he says, this is what I'm doing. And then he goes, walk. He goes, make sure you keep walking, man, his friend said that. And then Victor said, hey. No, continue what you're doing. Keep running. And I thought, another Camino, right? He's doing Camino very differently. And we're all doing our Camino very differently. And none of it's right and none of it's wrong. None of it's right and none of it's wrong. If we could get that, oh my God, wouldn't we be free? Wouldn't we be free to go, you know what? I don't agree with what you're doing, or it's okay though, but you're not wrong. You're just doing what you believe. And that's what this whole entire teaching is about. It's about having the faith and having the audacity to say there's something more. And the reason I know that there's something more, because I look around at my life, and I look around at this life, and I look at how everybody's individualized, and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, that's what we're all doing here. We're all on this beautiful Camino, and if I can help you on your Camino, I will. And then sometimes I can't help you because you don't want my help today. You don't want my help today, and that's okay. I have to go, there's this obligation, I think, when you're in the spiritual, any kind of inspirational. It's like, like somebody called me and said, I can't even believe that. They said, I just called you because I know you're in the business of saving. Well, they haven't looked at my account. But no, you're in the business of saving, and your flock needs you. First of all, I'm going to get something straight, and now I'm turning it right over to Rita. You are not a flock. I don't care what you're raised with, but they go, how's your flock? All I can hear is, meh, meh, meh. You're not a flock. You're wonderful spiritual beings who happen to drop right in this beautiful space to remember who you are. And that is the most incredible, wonderful God self. And I'm going to leave, but I have another story. Pop! Just so if you're here for the first time, this is totally me. Totally me. But anyway, here's some good news. Angela we got these little snippets of us, Rita and I. And they take like little stuff that we say here, and it goes into like 57 seconds or something, which is perfect, unlike here. So they put these snippets on, and guess what? I had 575, and Angela was like, yes, 575 views on Patrick's thing. And I was told, oh, here it goes, blasphemy, false prophet, false, get rid of him. And then Rita felt bad, so she put one on, and they called her blasphemous too, and they needed to get rid. And I thought, at first I was a little scared, because I thought, do they know where I am at, I don't want them coming in and but they were like, oh, they were cruel with it. But at first I was like, oh no. And then I got complimented, because I thought, wow, they listened to the whole thing. Then I listened to the whole thing, and I could kind of see where it all started. So picture this. Here's the snippet, and the first thing you hear out of my mouth, and sometimes I get excited, so it looks crazy, right? So, I'm like, hey, this is wonderful, and they're like, oh, ooh, a little too much. Camera, pull back. So this is what the first words out of my mouth. I am God. And so are you. And I'm like, and I wonder why they wrote what they wrote about me. False prophet, get rid of it. So then it's a great, Rita goes, oh, my, and then Rita did it in Rita's style, the beautiful style. Like, let me tell you what really the meaning of I am God really is. And she did this wonderful thing. I said, oh, now that's, a little less intrusive. And then all of a sudden, and they went, blasphemous. So I said, it doesn't matter, baby, how you say it. If you're going to have blasphemy, you're going to get blasphemy. So if you ever watch it, and here's the good thing about not judging and not condemning. I have to admit, it was a little big with the I am God. So I'll give them that. So enjoy your Camino. I'm going to turn this over to the queen of the Camino. What are you looking at? I mean, as I said, the king of rock and roll itself. I know if you're new, you're acting like this is kind of my first time out here, but I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this, right, guys, for a while. There you go. So just remember something. I'll leave you with this. I am God, and so are you.
What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do It's a question that no one's prepared to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a question I'm presently wanting to answer. The usual way doesn't work for me now. It's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery, no one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, there's no map for what life has in store. And what if the race is over and we all automatically win? And what if the game is ended long before it even begins? And what if the test has been taken? We're all passing again and again. If the race is over, what is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I know if I find heaven birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to take? What's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken? We're all passing again and again. If the race is over, we're all born victorious. If the race is over.
Thank you, Kyle and Louise. Thank you, Daniel Namad, who wrote that song. That song was played for me for the first time when I was about to take my not ministerial, my practitioner exam, and we were all nervous. And Jonathan Zenz was there too. We were all nervous, who Patrick was just talking about, and they put that song on, and it was like, "What are you nervous about? It's already been won." And that's what our whole philosophy is about. We might be walking a Camino, but what we teach here and what we believe, even though we don't always feel it, is that we're perfect already and we've already won. And we're just learning that because a lot of times stuff shows up in life and we don't seeing on the outside. But it all starts in here, right? So, what's my Camino? My Camino is remembering that. It's still remembering that. And my Camino is, well, this, as Patrick said, has been just a strange week with challenges and from different aspects and friends and colleagues and people getting sick and just all kinds of things happening. And just when you think something else is not going to happen, everything's going to be fine, then something else happens. So I just want to go back to the swarm of bees because I found it to be a very profound experience. I mean, when I drove into the driveway, I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and all of a sudden, okay, I'm seeing all these bees like flying, and I just like pulled into the garage really quick and shut the door because I was like, because my house door is open, and I'm like thinking, oh, they're going to get out. So I freaked at first, and then I was like, no. I said, there's got to be something about this. I don't know. So I called Sue, and then, or texted her, and then I started doing my research, and I found out the amazing phenomena about swarming bees, what it means. And in the physical world, it's like, if you hear this, you would think, you could never doubt that there's a divine intelligence that's moving creation and that it's perfect. So here's the bees. They figure out that their hive is not big enough anymore. So they split off. They create it. Well, first they create another queen. They leave her behind. They split off, and one half of the hive goes in search of a new hive with the old queen. Then the old queen, since they don't know where the new hive's going to be, decides that they're going to rest on a tree. And so she does that, and all the bees come around her, and they perch on this tree like in a swarm, right? And then they send out scouts to find their new home. And they stay there till the scouts come back and tell them that they found it, either that or that they need to move and go somewhere else while they're still looking or something. I don't know how that part works. But so I thought to myself, this is like too much. And then they tell them where it is. Then they all fly off with the queen, of course, and go to their new hive where they're going to build their new hive. And I'm like, wow. I mean, that's like divine intelligence, right? How could we ever doubt that there's a great presence that moves through all creation, and we need to just get with the program? Because we're like, okay, we're out here struggling and trying to figure things out and not realizing that there's something within us that's going to figure everything out for us, through us, as us, if we just let go. So during this week, before the bees showed up, I was like feeling like this like intense kind of like struggle going on about the center, about finances, about all of this. And I was like, how are we ever going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I went into this long meditation, and I just heard this voice, and it just said, let go, let God. Let go, let God. Just say it to yourself. It's so, let go, let God. Let go, let God. I said it over and over till I got it. And then all of a sudden, it's just like this peaceful feeling came over me, and I was like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And then the bees showed up, and then I was like, really? Okay. And a couple of other things happened. I said, really? And then I said, no. And I just kept saying, let go, let God, let go, let God. And I was on my path, and I talked to the queen, because I wanted them to leave, kind of. I didn't want them to leave before their time, but I did. And and she talked. I said, you can stay as long as you want. I was on the path, the Camino. It is like a Camino, the Kauai path, doing my jog. And I said, I'm just going to talk to the queen and see where she's at. So I know I'm crazy, right? I could tell anybody else this, but you guys, and they think that woman is really, she's celebrating swarms in her yard and talking to the queen. Okay, so I talked to the queen, and she told me that it was all about collaboration. Beehives are all about collaboration and perseverance and work, but mostly collaboration. And then I thought, okay, she's talking about like collaboration with other people and other bees or whatever, and that's true. But the real collaboration I got was the collaboration with spirit. Could I live my life totally in that realm of knowing that I was always taken care of and that I was collaborating with this great presence? And that was profound. So I thanked the queen, and she left a few hours later with her swarm. So I knew it was there, that I had to learn something, because nothing is random. Why in all places in the homesteads did this thing perch on our tree in our front yard? Why? There is no why. Nothing is random. It's like everything. And before that, we had done a podcast with Patricia Wagner called Epiphanies. It's the first Thursday of every month. She does that on her Facebook page, Living in Heart-Centered Gratitude. And I had listened to the one before because I wanted to be familiar with what was going on. And all the lady was talking about was messages from nature, epiphanies from nature. And then that thing with the bees happened. I went, okay, so there's no like accidents. Everything's happening for a reason. And it doesn't always look perfect on the outside. But if we like just take a breath and just go, okay, what do I need to know right now? What do I need to know? Do I really realize I'm safe? Do I really realize there's some divine thing happening behind all this? And nothing's like meant to be. That's like a falsity. Oh, it's meant to be. No, it's not meant to be. The only thing meant to be is for us to understand that there's something working through us that's greater than what we think is meant to be. So, meant to be. Okay. No, I'm not good at it. Meant to be is meant to be. Okay. So I know. Just believe. All right. Okay. Anybody have any others? No. Just be. So, yeah. So that's my message today, is this idea, and Patrick kind of said the same thing about trust and faith and letting go. And last week I had read that big quote by Ernest Holmes about the universe being inexhaustible, and how we're not depending on a power or some power, or that we're depending on all power. And we can depend on that all power if we choose to believe that it's really that it's really there, and that it's here, and that we can depend on it. So I don't know, whatever is happening in your life, if you can go there, whether it's about money or relationships or illness or whatever it is, if you can go there and just stay there in that place, you'll get through anything. I just know it, because we're never left alone. We're never without that beautiful presence within us, no matter what it looks like. And life is eternal. I totally believe that. I'm starting to read a book called Radical Acceptance, and I can tell it's going to be really, really good. But on the first page, the lady was talking about, she was at the deathbed of her mother or her aunt or somebody, it doesn't really matter. And she was nurturing her and everything. And she was in a coma, and she woke up and she said, all my life, I thought something was wrong with me. What a waste. And then she went back into her coma and she passed. So in this philosophy that we teach here, nothing is ever wrong with you. There's nothing that has to be fixed. Patrick and I are not here to fix anything. We're only here to know who you truly are and to help you know that. That's our whole mission. So I think it's powerful. And I think that this divine presence, this is another quote by Ernest Holmes, and I'm going to close with it if I can find it. If I can't find it, then I know why I can't find it, because it's in my book. So, because I thought of it this morning when I thought about the bees. And I don't have my glasses on, but I'll be able to read it. So he writes this: a new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into visibility through our faith in it. A new science, a new religion, and a new philosophy are rapidly being developed. This is in line with the evolution of the great presence, and nothing can hinder its progress. It is useless as well as foolish to make any attempts to cover this principle or to hold it as a vested right of any religion, sect, or order. The truth will out. The spirit will make itself known. Happy are we if we see these things which from the foundation of the human race have been longed for by all aspiring souls. So nothing can stop it. Isn't that a wonderful thing to know? We can't stop it with our little thoughts of feeling inadequate or anything like that. We can't stop it. All the people we think are trying to stop, do these things in the world, they still can't stop it because it's making itself known. It's the divine presence that's within each and every one of us. And we get to live that and use that and be that. And it's eternal. So let's do it. Namaste. Yeah. Thank you. A verse of that last song you sang. Just a verse.
A verse of it?
Yeah, just a verse, like the ending. Okay. It'll be a good closing to all this.
What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? If that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give? What's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over? We all automatically win. What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken? We're all passing again and again. If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then?
Thank you, Kyle. He's like, what? What? Why are you doing that to me? You're so beautiful. You're so you're just like, when I was a little girl, well, when I was with my dad, he would always like, sing that, sing that, sing that. And it was like, he's winding up like this little, I don't want to say little monkey, but you know those ones that just dance and sing. I'm sorry if I treated you that way. No, you don't mind. Okay.
No.
You're up to it. Okay.
Dance! Dance!
Sing, dance, dance. No, there we go. Sing Ave Maria. No, sing All Holy Night. Just sing, 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 sing. Anyway, but thank you. Okay.
And we continued that on with this lady. Every time I was with my mom, she would always go, Rita, sing Ave Maria. Rita, sing that. I'm thinking, oh my God.
Anyway, so this is our time of giving. Thank you so much for the beautiful, amazing generosity that's given to the center from all around the world. We're so appreciative. And thank you as we move on, reincarnate ourselves in this moment. So thank you. Malama Tea.
Yes, thank you online.
All that I see, all that I've been, all that I'll ever be, it's so blessed, so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been,
Thank you. Thank you. From CSL Kauai, but thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts that are one heart for this incredible, incredible thing called abundance. The law of circulation. What goes out comes back, just like our beautiful ocean. And with that, I just say thank you. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. So it is.
So I lift up my hands now, open my heart. Gratitude goes out to everything near and far, and all that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be. It's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Grateful for it all. And I am grateful for those young masters that are
Oh,
about
young
to,
masters.
or is it? Oh,
Oh.
yes.
The two
It's
young
the
masters.
Potter. It's the Potter kids.
We've got Miss Leslie and Miss Jeanette. Thank you, Miss Jeanette, for helping today.
And
Oh.
once again, thank you for my abundance.
Oh, they made a
For my
made a-
birthday last week. They had a shower of $65 go over my head, and I didn't even know about it, did I?
Can you get that end? I want to see what's on the other end.
And I counted it
Oh, wow,
afterwards, and
this-
there was still 65.
This is awesome. They made a banner for adventure. Oh, wait, I got to get you a mic.
Oh.
First, I must say I'm very grateful for my young masters. These gentlemen are just really awesome. And we were grateful for our new paint. It's very bright and easy to use, and we loved it. We had a great time. And of course, our theme is adventure. We had all kinds of adventures. I'm going to let them talk about that.
We played soccer out in the field.
Beckham, what was your adventure?
I drew a soccer field with everybody getting red cards.
Looks like a scene from
You're like a
Ted
mini
Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, you are.
There we go.
And I drew about basketball.
Uh-huh.
And on this beautiful banner, we have a camping scene down there. We have a waterfall with a lake with rocks for jumping and flowers for looking at. There's surfing and skateboarding and basketball and camping. Yeah, good fun stuff. We had adventures. And I'm also very thankful for my helper. We had
very thankful for Leslie.
Ah.
Beautiful.
All right.
absolutely.
So we give them their blessing?
We shall.
You are amazing. You are perfect. You are magnificent. And we love you. Okay. I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Margaret, that's fun.
Okay. a
Great
few
job,
quick-
you guys.
Beautiful. So a few quick announcements.
Yes. Well, the one I want to talk about for just a second is this power of decision. Here's what happened with the power of decision is that today's the deadline for registration, and there's still not enough to go forward, but Rita and I woke up with a epiphany. And so I made a decision to teach this because this has been for 20 years of my life. And on Facebook, people say, oh my God, you're teaching it. This was been my Bible for the last 40 years. And so what I decided, what we woke up with is, I'm not going to make a decision and then wait for it to happen because you say it's okay that we go on with this. I think that if you're going to make the power of decision, then you should decide to do it. So we are going on with whoever is there. Right now we have about 3, and we're going on with it. Now, don't let this be fooled, because this one has changed lives. If you do not take this class, it's really fine. I never want to talk to you again. No, if you don't take this class, that's fine, because I'm just sitting there. I love, once again, a proctor. Bob Proctor says that somebody said, I can't afford that. And he said, I don't promote this, but you need to borrow it because you're never going to have to borrow money again after you take take my class. And I really do believe that the power of decision has changed lives. Here's the deal, though. I'm not going to be threatening people about not doing it or doing it, but flying solo and the all-day Saturday one will be, the 10th is its deadline. That one will be rescheduled because there's nothing worse than flying solo with 2. So we only take 8. So I just want to let you know and make sure that if you're going to do that, that you register and you sign that, because we will not call you if there's a change if we don't know that you were intending to come to this. But I cannot say this enough. Timmery was up one week, and I just want to let you know that if you can possibly go to this, it will change your life. And if your life is all on board, guess what? You know what they said about the learners and the learned. So we're still learning. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So we have that. We have, and the books are in the books. I mean,
No, we
it's
don't
in the
have this
bookstore.
today. That's about it.
Right.
Right after this, we're doing Rap with the Revs. It'll be, well, we'll do it, we'll probably take a little break for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we're going to circle up and do it right away. So if you want to stay for Rap with the Revs, it's just basically us in a circle, whoever stays, and we're going to just talk and get to know each other a little better. We're going to find out what your Camino is. All right, so that's it, I think, right?
I do believe it
What a
is.
beautiful day. And we're gonna,
Yes, what a beautiful day. Welcome to the people that have come here for the first time. You're beautiful. Welcome.
And I know we're going to say our thank yous, but I just want to thank Charles and Jonathan and Melissa and Giorgio, who just happened to show up, no mistakes, to help us get online, because we don't have our Rob today. And thank you for just, I don't know, everybody just pulled together and did that, and it was really awesome. So thank you
Yes,
you guys. All
yes,
right?
and let's put our heart out for all of those, Rob and Diane, everybody that just needs a little bit of extra oomph, and Ron Stover and all of that. They'll take our love. They'll take our love. Trust me.
Yeah,
Our
they're just
healing
a little
energy.
under the weather. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna take you back on a little trip, aren't we?
We got
It's
Jane
about
up
adventure.
here. We got Jane.
Uh-oh. But close your eyes. Let's go back. Let's go back to the 70s. Let's make it happen. Get yourselves up.
And whatever comes our way, let down and make it happen. Take the word and fire out the guns and sand, explode the springs like a true nature's child. We were born to be wild. We can climb so high. I never wanna die. Yeah, born to be wild. Born to be wild. I like smoking lightning, heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under. Yeah, darling, ought to make it happen. Take the word in a loving breeze. Fire all your guns at once and explode in space like a true nature's child. We were born, gonna be wild. We can climb so high. I never wanna die. Come on, born to be wild. Sing it. Born to be wild.
Hey. Desiree Hoover and Angela Phillips and Tober, who's not here, and Rob and Miss Janet, Jeanette, and let's see who else. Angela. I mean,
These
I don't
guys
even know. And
Gene.
let's give it over for Jean and
Yes.
Kyle and Louise.
And this is from 1968, I was
Let's
told,
take it
not
home.
1970.
Let's take it home.
It happened. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all your guns at once and explode in despair like a true nature's child. If we were born to be wild, we can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. Yeah. Come on, to be wild. Born to be wild. Go ahead, Gene. Hey. Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
Yes. This is our evangelist.